If your YouTube viewing habits are anything like mine, you've probably been recommended this video about 89 times just this past year. I ended up never watching it, but this expressive, tense, mysterious face stuck with me, especially as I played more and more questionable old games. How bizarre can this one really be? Let's find out! This is The Mystery of the Druids by House of Tales.
That's why I say you're a blockhead, Lowry. How could you let such a thing happen? The man was innocent. What do you think the press are going to say about all this? Now get out of here! Get the hell out of my sight! And if I have any more trouble with you, you'll be dishing out parking tickets before long. And that's a promise, Lowry! Oh, and here's my good friend Halligan, another one of the invaluable detectives of our glorious murder squad. Don't just stand there gaping, come in. I'm glad you could make it. After all, you're a busy man, aren't you? Now look here, Detective Halligan. I've got used to being surrounded by a bunch of incompetent, half-baked blockheads, but your smart, well-dressed colleague Lowry has just earned himself the golden badge of stupidity. Halligan, we've got a bit of a problem. We've had an innocent man locked up in jail. Regrettably, he was killed in prison before we could correct our mistake. Unfortunate affair. And now we've got this lunatic killer running around all over London. We have to make sure that at least this oversight is put right. Your clear-up rate so far ought to be sufficient evidence that there's no point in asking you to clear up anything more than a common bicycle theft. But this does happen to be the murder squad. I am the chief of this department. All I have for choice is that blockhead Lowry and you.
Okay, Chief. What do you want me to do?
To my utmost surprise, the 2001 game launches without the need of any additional help. That is crazy, especially considering what we're about to witness just a few short minutes from now. Now, the graphics. Ugh. Of course, knowing that the game is from 2001, our charitable hearts are inclined to cut it some slack. But like, the first two Microids Dracula games came out a year earlier in 2000, and while they also look crazy, it's much better than this. I think all the graphics budget went into giving everyone these crazy lash extensions and making Halligan's hairline look like a lace front wig, and then the rest was just the rest. Now, let's see what these charming individuals want from us.
Your dear colleague Lowry dealt with the skeleton murders last year. You should know that, Halligan. Lowry worked on the case for several months, and finally managed to pull a culprit out of the hat. A butcher from South London. A married man with kids. They gave him a life sentence. He was in jail till 3 weeks ago.
Pulled out of the hat, you say? So the butcher didn't do it after all?
Oh, you're a genius, Halligan. He didn't do it. We found that out today. We don't know it for a fact, Halligan, but we can guess. There's been another victim. The body was discovered this morning. The victim was killed in exactly the same way as all the others. We have to assume that we're dealing with the same killer.
There's been another murder?
Exactly, Halligan. A pile of bones has been found in Epping Forest. Supposedly a male corpse. We don't know any more than that. I presume we both agree that it can't have been Lowry's man, eh?
Oh, of course.
You see, I've just managed to get that into Lowry's head as well. You heard it? Lowry's off the case. Halligan, you drive out to Epping Forest and take a look at the evidence.
Of course, sir.
And Halligan, no sloppiness now. I want results. Sensible results. The press has already been terrorizing me this morning. The killer must be found. Do I make myself clear?
Of course, Chief.
Good. This is the file with all the necessary information, and now you better get going quickly.
Ooh, Matchbox! I mean, yeah, okay, sure, Chief. I can always get behind a good murder mystery. Here we discover probably the most annoying feature in the mystery of the Druids, the dialogue. You can repeat the dialogue to your heart's content. Yay? But then there are multiple answers, and the multiple answers lead to other multiple answers, and sometimes you have to exhaust all the dialogue to progress. So you're just sitting there smashing the escape key because no, they couldn't go with the old reliable left click to skip the dialogue in this point and click game. It had to be the escape key. And of course they don't tell you this, obviously. You're just gonna have to figure it out by the power of frustration and key smashing. Well, okay, I'm tired of your ugly face. Let's explore the new Scotland Yard. God, white lights make everything so depressing. Even the flag colors look slightly off. Opposite to the chief's office, there's the lab, where we can look at lab equipment, chemicals, and meet Chris, who's also a bitch.
I'll just drive out there and have a look at it.
Just you do that, Brent.
He's already looked at the body, and obviously there are no traces. Nothing. Our guy is a professional, or the yard is criminally incompetent. One of the two. Okay, you get points for that one, Mystery of the Druids. On the opposite end of the corridor, to the left, there's the archives, I guess, info stand, where we meet Janet, who, say it with me, is a bitch.
Oh my god, Brent, don't pretend to be more stupid than you are.
But make no mistake, we're stuck with Brent Halligan, who's kinda worse than everyone else.
Damn bureaucracy. I need to make an inquiry, Janet, right now.
But anyways, back to more practical things. We need the chief's signature for additional information on the case. Bureaucracy, you know how it is. At the back of the room, we can grab a form for obtaining materials, carbon paper, and a clipboard, because it makes it easier for the chief to sign things. What a lazy bum. Opposite the info stand, we enter Lowry's office, where the legendary levitating fashion icon himself holds court. Yes, he is a bitch, but he has good reason. I mean, not good, but at least he has a reason to be pissed. Oh, Arthur Conan, we're really in it now. Next to my dearly beloved's bust is our office. Suits you, Halligan. From one of the drawers here, we get Janet's scarf. Okay, Mr. Kleptomaniac. We also try to grab the cigarettes, but Halligan says that he's determined to give up smoking. Wow, someone's got a spine. Oh no. The saltiness of this game is starting to affect me. Save yourselves! On the table, we can see our phone and answering machine. And all the buttons are clickable, which can only mean one thing. Headache puzzle on the horizon. Now we head over to the chief's office and ask him, pretty please, to sign the information request. But he won't, because we don't need a database. Sir, I'll let you know that you are obstructing the law. You'll hear from my lawyers. Well, let's take a look at that body now.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you've had a good breakfast. The sight over there is not very appetizing.
Oh, well, you know, I got used to it. When were the bones discovered?
At 5:30 a.m. by a jogger. He phoned us.
A jogger? Has he been interviewed?
Well, he's in hospital for the time being. The shock, you know. We could hardly even take down his particulars.
Why was that?
He had to throw up several times, sir.
Oh, I understand. Could he have left the bones here?
It's not impossible, but I don't really believe it. He's a tourist and only arrived in London last night. I suppose he came here by accident.
He's a tourist? Since when did tourists jog at 5:30 in the morning? Is he on a fitness trip?
Sir, he told us he was a decathlete. It's his job.
I love how Halligan is seemingly so out of shape that he thinks people exercising during vacation is immediately suspicious. After this, I went like 2 months without playing the game. Sorry, but this is really not a gripping narrative. So we're back, and I go through Halligan's office again. Turns out that this game has a lot more pixel hunts than I initially thought. Plus, the cursor changing isn't always helpful in telling us what we can and can't mess with. This portrait is kinda funny because it looks like an AI version of the Queen, but again, 2001, it's probably just a weird render. Okay, so it turns out that over here we can open all these drawers, but we have to click on them exactly. And we can't click on them while zoomed in. What an amazing idea! From the other drawers, we get some plastic bags, gloves, and apple juice. Who on God's green earth keeps liquids horizontally in drawers? This guy, apparently. Back to the forest to look at the body. And yay, pixel hunt. Apparently none of the bones are important evidence, except this one. Also, we can see that the grass directly beneath the bones is burnt, but it's also a struggle to get Halligan to pick it up.
That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. important evidence, I'm sure. Strange. That won't feel different with gloves either.
Back to Scotland Yard, I try giving Janet her scarf back, but kleptomaniac Brent doesn't want to give up his gains, so... Well, let's see what Dr. Chris thinks of this burnt grass.
Here you go, Chris.
And the game crashed. Okay, let's try again. And save beforehand this time.
Here you go, Chris. Have a look at...
Nope, crashed again. Apparently you have to press escape just as you're handing him the item, so that it skips the voice line and avoids crashing. What an amazing game! So I boot it back up, and this time around, for some reason, I cannot click on either save nor load game. So I have to start a new game and do everything all over again. Better now than 5 hours down the line, I guess. Okay, here we go. Please, Chris, accept this gift as a token of my appreciation.
Here.
A bone. Very likely the right thigh bone. Why are you bringing it here? I had a look at the bones with the forensic squad this morning.
I know, but I've still got a couple of questions about them.
Well, go ahead then.
Did somebody maybe scorch the flesh off the bone?
No, definitely not. That would look different. I suspect that it was rather cut off, or maybe taken off with acid.
What sex was the victim?
Judging by the structure of the bones, I think it was male. I'll write that down in my report as well, but I'll tell you right now that you won't get it before the end of the week, Halligan.
Can you see any abnormalities?
I would have noticed them, Halligan. No fractures, no bruises, everything quite normal.
You can't tell me more than that about the bones? Chris, that doesn't help me.
There's really no more to say about the bones, Halligan. Just wait for my report. You'll have it all nicely written down then. Or, hang on a moment. If you're really interested, go and see Professor Turner. He was the supervisor of a friend's PhD thesis. That's how I met him. He works in an anthropological museum in Oxford. If anybody can say anything about the bones, he can.
We also talk about the grass, but Chris doesn't really have any theories. On to the Anthropological Museum. It is closed for renovations. To the left, we see a homeless man, and honestly, this section is just crazy. We ask him if he's seen anyone going to the museum today, and he says that the only person he saw is a woman. She works there and gives him some money every now and then. He also complains that with the museum closed, business for him is also slow. To the right, there's a phone booth where we can use the phone book to get Professor Turner's number. But, oh right, Halligan doesn't have his wallet with him. Maybe we need to go call him from our office then? No, that's not it either. Wait. No, you're joking, right? Yeah, that's right, we have to rob the homeless man. To make a phone call. Well, we have access to a phone in our office, and also Halligan doesn't have a wallet completely by a House of Tales design. Seriously, is this the face of a man who goes anywhere without his bulky wallet? By talking to the man some more, we learn that he's dying for a drink. Apple juice?
I got you something. Here you are.
What's that?
Apple juice.
Get lost.
Okay, we steal his flask now. He doesn't care, since it's empty. Well, we do have access to the lab, full of alcohol. Please don't do this at home, lab alcohol is not for drinking. But we can't grab them. All we can do is polish them so that all the fingerprint marks disappear. Okay? We then start chatting to Chris about the chemicals here and...
You've got a great job, Chris. Masses of alcohol and everything legal.
Nonsense, Halligan. Do you think we spend all day getting drunk with medical alcohol? Why don't you just try the stuff?
Sure, no problem.
Here, Brent, to your health. What's up? Go ahead, try it. You won't get one of these so often.
All right, here we go. Cheers.
To your health, Brent. An interesting aroma.
Isn't it? Brent, aren't you feeling very well? Brent, are you sure you're okay?
God damn it. You could knock someone out cold with this kind of stuff, Chris. Chris?
And now we can use the fingerprint powder to figure out which one of these we just consumed. Mix it up with the apple juice in the flask, and now we have booze. Questionable booze, but booze it is. Yeah, this puzzle is weird, but I guess in the universe of Bitchland, it was guaranteed that Chris would give us dangerous lab alcohol to knock us out. Back to the homeless guy, we deliver the goods and he's out. And now we can steal his pennies to use the phone booth. Yippee! We are so smart!
Hello?
Hello, who's that?
Who am I speaking to?
This is Detective Halligan from Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard? What can I do for you?
I need to speak to Professor Turner. Doesn't he work at the museum?
Yes, but he's away on business.
Look, miss... what was your name?
Goodbye, Mr. Halligan.
She's hung up.
You think that being police would open certain doors, but no. We actually have to go back to Chris to learn that the woman is probably the professor's daughter, Melanie, to then go back to the phone booth, and now that we know her name, everything's different.
Hello?
Hello, this is Halligan again. Please don't hang up, Miss Turner.
How do you know my name, Mr. Halligan?
Chris Hecker told me that Professor Turner's your father.
Yes, that's true.
What do you do at the museum?
I'm an anthropologist.
The same as your father.
Yes?
Miss Turner, do you think you could help me?
That depends. What's the trouble?
I found a bone that I've had examined at the lab.
A bone? A human bone?
Yes, of course. It belonged to a murder victim.
Murder? How awful.
The bone is from the body of one of the victims of the skeleton murders. I take it you've read about them?
Oh, good heavens, yes. What can I do for you?
Couldn't we discuss that inside?
Certainly. Come on over. I'll let you in. Mr. Halligan?
Yes, that's right. Hello, Miss Turner. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time.
No problem. We're closed anyway. The museum is being refurbished.
It's not easy to get in touch with you. I was close to giving up.
Oh, you mean because of the phone call? I'm really sorry. I do sometimes tend to be rather short on the phone. You know, I get unpleasant calls sometimes, and that's why I'm a bit suspicious.
I see. Well, I finally got in touch with you.
Would you like to come in? Would you like a cup of coffee or anything else?
No, thanks.
Ooh, nice office! So we explained the situation to Melanie, and today is our lucky day, because turns out that she's also an anthropologist. And she specializes in sacrificial rituals, so she's perfect. She's gonna take a look at the bone for us, but it'll take some time. And now we're controlling Melanie. We can explore around the office, open the sink. Sometimes it feels like this game was made before they had any idea what the puzzles were gonna be like, so it's just full of artifacts. I mean, we never use the sink for anything. But let's skip to the relevant stuff.
That's interesting. The notches in the bone were made by a sharp instrument. The sickle matches the notches to a T.
We can then put the bone in this contraption, which slices off a very thin portion of it so we can look at it through the microscope. When we finally adjust the focus, we can see that there's gold lodged into one of the supposed sickle slashes. Then there are some archaeology magazines which can help us further.
Hey, didn't this edition mention something in connection with sacrificial rites in Britain? Let's see. Yes, here it is. An article about the Druids and their sacrificial rites. The latest findings indicate that in ancient England it was probable for the most... for their high ceremonies, the Celts usually preferred to use... incredible. It all fits in with this bone. I'm sure the detective will be very interested.
We can now relay our discoveries to Halligan and... oh, the game crashed. So we perform our experiments again, save, and...
Mr. Halligan? I believe...
Go ahead.
In my...
With a sickle?
Yes. And
What makes you think that?
the bone bears notches matching the cutting form of a sickle to a T. And I found a trace of gold in one of the notches.
A golden sickle? Who would use a weapon like that in order to cut a human being to pieces?
That's what I asked myself as well. I found an interesting article which could help us. According to the historian Arthur Blake, the Britannic Druids carried out very bloody sacrificial rites. He found out that such rites took place at major celebrations of the Celts. He assumes that consecrated golden sickles were used for those rites.
And how does he know about these things?
He learned about it from old inscriptions he's translating at the moment. Interesting, huh?
Celts? Druids? Quite some time has passed since then, hasn't it?
Of course, but the descriptions in the article absolutely match the findings on your bone, Mr. Halligan. I'm sure the author of the article can help you.
What did you say this author's name was?
Blake. Arthur Blake.
Was there any mention in the article of how you could get in touch with the man?
I thought you'd ask that. His address was printed below the article. 366 Pinewood Road, Northampton.
Also, it's funny that Melanie vehemently denies being an Nepo baby.
How long have you been working here?
Several years. My father helped me to get the job here at the museum.
Connections are indispensable nowadays, aren't they?
I was the most qualified applicant.
Anyways, Melanie tries to convince Halligan that she could be useful to the investigation, so she should be kept updated in case of any developments. And Halligan's like, well, confidential police stuff, but you know what? Fine. And then... oh. The game crashed again. I speed past the conversation to see if the escape hack works here, but it doesn't. Luckily, I very quickly found this post by this absolute angel with a link to the patches so that the game stops crashing. Thank you. In the very bottom of my heart, I knew that it wouldn't be as simple as clicking play. So now we finally managed to leave the museum and go visit Arthur Blake. I immediately like him because he's like, police? Well, hold on, I'm not gonna invite you into my house just like that. Hell yeah, know your rights, Mr. Blake. But as soon as we mention the murders, his curiosity makes him cave, and we're in.
You're the author of a book on Druids, am I right?
Yes, quite correct. In fact, I'm just working on a revised version for the next edition. But what makes you so interested in my book?
I'm currently investigating a series of murders in London. I've made some interesting discoveries that I'd like to discuss with you. The skeleton murders. You may have read about them in the papers.
Oh, yes. Of course. A terrible business.
Mr. Blake, I believe there may be some sort of ritual behind these murders.
Well, what makes you think that?
Dr. Turner from the Anthropological Museum in Oxford examined one of the last victim's bones for me. She found residual traces of gold on it and round notches.
Round notches, you say?
Yes. Does that mean anything to you? Doesn't your book on Druids mention ritual killings for which a golden sickle was used?
True. Are you saying these murders are based on the same ritual?
That's what I've come to ask you.
But that's impossible. It can't be true. It's... my God. It would be unthinkable. It would confirm all my translations. I've been researching the history of the Druids for 30 years now. But I've never yet found proof of my greatest fears.
Your greatest fears?
Yes, the perfection of the final ritual, the final confirmation of the Druids' power.
What's this final ritual all about?
This is the text I wrote down during my travels through England and France. You know, when you travel through the country, you can feel that many locals still believe in the old Celtic customs. A group of farmers in the south of England let me copy the inscriptions on a megalith that stands in a field there. They claim that there used to be a huge Druid temple close to their house, but there's nothing left of it now. Whatever. I managed to translate the text, at least in part.
Okay, Mr. Blake, please come to the point. What does it say?
It says that the last of the Druids saw the fall of their priesthood coming in the year 1000 AD. In the confusion surrounding the final destruction of the Order, a demonic superior Druid seized power, using his knowledge of Druid magic, not for the good of his people and to honor the gods, but to submit all of mankind to his rule. In order to secure the survival of the Druid's tradition, and to complete his devilish work, he organized a final ritual, transferring the knowledge and power of the last of the Druids to 5 infants. These infants have always been referred to as the inheritors.
Go on.
The inscription says that the ritual was not entirely completed. I've not yet been able to discover why. But from what I've learnt, the inheritors are strong and powerful enough to one day complete the ritual by themselves.
Right. But what have these murders got to do with the myth?
Well, that's just it, Mr. Halligan. I haven't told you the whole story yet.
There's more?
Yes. The inscriptions explain that the Druids' inheritors require the life force of other people to complete the ritual.
I see. And how do they do that?
According to legend, the flesh has to be cut off the bones of living humans and to be eaten. Only then can their life force be transferred.
You mean the victims of these skeleton murders were practically eaten alive by cannibals?
By Druids. Yes.
I don't believe it.
The worst is yet to come, Mr. Halligan.
What? What could possibly be worse than that?
If such skeletons have been found in London, bearing marks of a golden sickle, it can only mean one thing. The inheritors are preparing for the perfection of their final ritual.
Which means?
The myth says, once the ritual has been completed, the world will become a place governed by evil. Dark magic will be unleashed upon the world, and mankind will have but one choice: to obey or to die.
Great. And you really believe all that?
I believe it's possible. You know, Mr. Halligan, I'm not a superstitious man, but I've spent enough time studying Druidism to know that more goes on between heaven and earth than we can possibly imagine.
I quite agree.
You see, and the skeletons that have been found within the past few months fit in perfectly with the Druids' sacrificial rites. The day of the ritual's perfection is drawing near. Of that I'm certain. What we're looking at right now is just the beginning. Before we're through, more people will die, and the inheritors will soon be strong enough.
What can we do about it?
Time is running out, Mr. Halligan. You must find the inheritors and put them out of action.
That's an easy thing to say, but how can I?
There may be a way. During my latest research, I came across something very interesting. If the story I've heard is true, then there's a certain item that was extremely important for the ritual 1,000 years ago.
What is it?
A piece of jewelry mentioned in the old inscriptions, the Amulet of Transformation. If you find the amulet, you may be able to prevent the ritual. My work led to the discovery of a connection between the Druids of Gaul and Britain. It seems there was a small group of British Druids who fled to France when the ritual failed.
What for?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to save the amulet. I found out that a 13th century despotic French nobleman somehow gained possession of the amulet. I found a picture of him in an old archive.
Really? Let me see. Well, he doesn't look particularly friendly. Was he a Druid?
Well, he must have had something to do with the Druids, but I really can't tell you how he gained possession of the amulet. However, he is the only clue that I can possibly give you as to the whereabouts of the amulet. I suggest that you make your way to Carmore. With any luck, you may find more clues leading to the amulet there.
All right, Mr. Blake. I'll get going immediately.
Take care of yourself, Mr. Halligan. Good luck.
My greatest fears. You know what else is funny? Everyone in this game speaks funny in a feeble attempt at a British accent. And no one gets it right. No one. Yippee, let's go to the section where the annoying dialogue really rears its ugly head. Here in the town of Carmore, we can annoy this guy who's just trying to fish, and you better like this view because we gotta talk to him. A lot. Skipping over this charming first interaction, we ask him where the castle is, and he's like, "Oh, the creepy castle that everyone uses as a quarry, it's over there." Also, apparently the lord of the castle, the one with the amulet, is seen as a sort of boogeyman in the region. Let's go take a gander. Well, finally a background that looks okay. Not amazing, but definitely more appealing and charming than everything else we've been subjected to. But like, there's nothing to see here. I spent a few minutes pixel hunting, but no, there's just nothing. We can head down the path next to the tower, which leads us to the graveyard, but womp womp, it's locked. Now what? We go talk to our fisher friend again. It takes a while to find the relevant dialogue option that's gonna help us in our quest, but then, finally...
Capitaine Deneuve? Who's that?
Oh, you don't know him? He captains the ferry that brought you here. He's over there, on board. He's experienced a lot and has been all over the place. He knows a lot of stories. Incredible stories. You just have to know how to deal with him.
How to deal with him? What do you mean?
Not so loud, please.
Because of the fish?
No, because of Capitaine Deneuve. He might hear us.
And?
Look, I'll tell you something. Deneuve's a bit strange. He insists on being addressed by his title. He says his rank should still command people's respect.
Oh, well, if that's all, I don't mind. What do I have to call him then?
Monsieur le Capitaine Charles Deneuve. That's his full title. He'll appreciate that.
Got it. Thanks for the hint.
Well, that's amazing. Let's go interrogate Le Capitaine now.
You're Monsieur le Capitaine Charles Deneuve, aren't you?
Yes, that is correct, my boy. Charles Deneuve, Capitaine of the Merchant Navy of France. How do you know my name?
I've been talking to a friend of yours, the fisherman over there at the jetty.
Pierre? Ah, yes, old Pierre. I expect he has been telling you about his pike, the one that was 5 meters long.
Yes, he did. Pierre says you're from Carmore, like he is. Is that true?
I know that chit-chat is a crucial part of the investigation. People let their guard down, and when they think you don't actively want to find something out, they just tell you everything. But like, do we need to go through this with Halligan? Can't it just fade to black until the relevant information appears?
Tell me more about the castle.
The castle of Carmore was once the home of a good and righteous lord. Around 1000 AD, the Druids came there. You've heard of the Druids, I take it?
Oh yes, quite a lot in fact. Go on. Where did these Druids come from?
They were the last of the Druids from Britain.
Really?
Yes, really, my boy.
Do you know why they came to the castle?
They entrusted the Lord and his family with the safekeeping of something of great value to them.
What was it?
Nobody ever found out, my boy.
All right, what happened then?
The item remained in the family's possession for generations. But then the castle went to a descendant of the family who was not good and righteous, but cruel and mean. The evil lord of Carmore.
Was that what he was called?
That's what he has been called for centuries. He was a tyrant and a murderer. He enjoyed killing and held satanic ceremonies at the castle. Villagers would disappear from Carmore and never be seen again. They say he was executed during the Inquisition.
What do you mean, they say? Was he or wasn't he?
No. I know the true story. The castle was destroyed before the Inquisition ever began.
But how?
The truth was told in a very old Breton legend.
And?
One day, a salt seller by the name of Gergen came to the castle of Carmore and asked the evil lord for a drink of water. But the lord set his dogs on the man.
Go on.
Out of revenge for the lord's cruelty, Gergen hurled a handful of salt at the castle, which tumbled down immediately, burying the lord beneath it.
But why?
It was an ancient druid curse. Sometimes, people even come here from town. People like you, asking about the old stories. Writers, researchers, all sorts. We even had a real aristocrat here from England once. He was very interested in the castle.
Do you know his name?
No, I've forgotten. It was quite a while ago.
What did the man want?
He said he'd lost something out at the ruin. A necklace, a family heirloom. It seems to have been very important to him. The 5 of them spent days searching the ruins.
5?
Yes, there were 5 of them. They rented rooms above the bistro. 5 bigwigs in smart suits. One even had a uniform on.
Did they find the necklace?
No, I don't think so. They left after a couple of days.
Interesting.
Okay, thank God. It seems like our enemies are stupid. I mean, how can 5 ancient powerful druids fail at a task Halligan is gonna succeed? Well, we talked to Fisher Pierre again, and he complains about the captain's cat. And here begin the extremely obscure puzzles. Shout out to anyone who completed this game without a walkthrough. I could never. So here, after hearing Pierre complain about the cat, we have to stand on this corner right here and wait. Wait until the cat walks past here, and then take Janet's scarf. Yeah, Janet's scarf, the thing we picked up like 2 hours ago. Capture the cat, and then throw it at Pierre.
There! Did you see that? Did you see that? It's that damn cat again. She's knocked all my bait in the water. That's the 3rd time this week.
Calm down. You can always get some new baits.
What about my fishing tackle? What about my telescope ultralight 47 for 800 francs? I can't leave it here unguarded. It could be stolen. I'll have to take everything with me, just because of that damned cat.
Don't worry, Pierre. I'll keep an eye on your things.
Would you?
Of course. No problem.
Thank you, my friend. Then I'll go right now.
So now we can get his stuff. Yay, breaking the law. And now, you'll never guess what we'll use this fishing rod for. We have to tie it to a bucket and scoop salt from the boat. No, yeah, really. And we don't even return the rod. We just keep it forever. Let me give you a little spoiler mixed with another one of this game's features. We never use this thing again. And unless someone in-universe takes something from you, the item will never leave your inventory. I love when games do that, and I love it even more when after 2 hours there is a single puzzle that uses an old item, so the game expects you to, what? Try to use every single one of the 20 things inside your pockets? Even my mom knows that's bad game design. Ah, and also, there are things that you have to combine in your inventory, and there are things you have to combine on a surface to work. Fun! We then go to the graveyard and open the gate using the case file. I spent all my life not knowing that a stack of paper can open locked gates. The more you know! And I actually had high hopes for this area because graveyards are cool. No, House of Tales managed to make a graveyard look boring. Anyways, we have to put the salt clumps on top of these graves here, and then use the bone to turn it into regular salt. The bone! That's evidence! The bone! Gotta love Brent Halligan. And then we walk around the graveyard, which has a very bizarre layout, like the Templar/Switzerland cross. But it was probably just accidental. I don't think the minds behind the mystery of the Druids are smart enough to create this Knights Templar tie-in. We eventually come across this really ugly, really jarring castle. Remembering Le Capitaine's tale, we throw the salt and...
seems to have worked. This must be the amulet. I found it.
Yay, grave robbing, my favorite! So now we go back on the boat and Halligan, the genius that he is, wants to feel the fresh air on his face, so he's gonna hide the amulet in his room to avoid losing it. Drawer? Oh, you're not as stupid as I thought. Under the bed? No. In your pockets, in the towels, in the other blankets? No, no, no. This guy actually chooses his hiding spots pretty well. The ventilation shaft here. And now let's go enjoy the trip and... Oh no, what happened here? The amulet is gone. Back in London, we run to tell Mr. Blake all about our incompetence.
Well, go on then. I can't wait to hear what happened.
I found the amulet. It was walled up in the Lord's mausoleum.
Really? It really does exist then? And you've got it? Show me.
Well, I did have it, but it was stolen from me.
Stolen? How did that happen?
No idea. I hid it in my cabin during the crossing. Someone broke in and rummaged through all my luggage.
Was anything else missing?
No, not a thing.
Someone must have been following you.
I didn't notice anyone. Who could have known I'd been looking for an amulet in that godforsaken dump?
Certain people may be taking a great interest in your investigations, Mr. Halligan. Do not underestimate the power of the Druids.
Arthur then tells us about groups of neo-Druids. They're mostly harmless, living by ancient ideals and doing a lot of charity, but there are also the ones that mix occult rites with their druidic aspirations, the most infamous of which being the Circle. Before we leave, we ask Mr. Blake to call Melanie and update her on the case. Things are gonna get dangerous, and it's safer if there is someone else in the know here. And now back to the yard to...
Halligan! Into my office at once!
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Halligan! Come on in. I suppose we should be glad that you drop in now and then.
What's the matter, Chief?
You know, Halligan, I was just asking myself what you've been doing.
I've been investigating, Chief.
Well, have you? And do you know what I've been doing? I've been dismissing loads of press people, worried citizens, and politicians from my office. The phone hasn't stopped ringing since this morning. The mayor's been to my office.
And it goes on like that. What do you mean you were investigating the Druids? I want results. Where have you been? Etc, etc. And also...
One of the phone calls this morning was from the 4th District in Oxford.
Uh-huh. And?
A beggar has been to see them. He claimed that somebody had first put him to sleep and then robbed him. And do you know who that person was? No, a man who calls himself Detective Halligan. Our colleagues looked into the Central Personal Database and guess what? They found a man by the name of Detective Halligan, and he works for my department. What do you say to that?
Oops. There's no proof that that was actually us, so we can continue with our totally legal investigation. For the time being, at least. In our office, we find our answering machine bursting. Melanie, our mother, Chief, even the pizza place.
Hello, sir. This is Al's Pizza Palace. Your account from last quarter has not yet been paid. It amounts to £275. Please see to it within the next few days, otherwise we will have to stop serving you.
£275? Wow, that's my personal record.
Okay, so what we have to do now is how did you expect us to figure that out? We have to turn speaker mode on, call our fashion icon co-worker whose name eludes me now, and play the chief's message, which thankfully doesn't mention any names.
Scotland Yard Detective Lowry.
Miller speaking. I've had enough. You better come to my office as soon as possible. Did you get that?
Oh, of course, sir. I'm coming. I'm on my way.
And all that for what? His scissors. Are you telling me that Halligan, in all his mess, doesn't own a pair of scissors? Or any sharp objects at all? Really? I know, video game logic. But sometimes puzzles feel so unnecessary that I cannot suspend my disbelief anymore. And the mystery of the Druids is one of those. I did consider the idea that maybe this puzzle is insane to me because I'm a youngster. Even though I grew up with a landline at home, I never had to operate an answering machine. But no. Just no. This is just bad game design. Anyways, what do we do with these scissors now? Okay, so this is actually an ingenious idea. We grab the clipboard, the paper we need the chief to sign for information, the carbon paper on top of that, and then the form for stationery. All we have to do is crop the edges so that he hopefully doesn't notice that there are other papers under there. And the chief scolds us for wasting the yard's budget because we don't take care of our stuff, yada yada, but he actually signs it. So now we have our info form signed as well. Let's see what Janet can tell us.
I'm looking for information about a group called The Circle.
Circle? Just a sec. It won't take a moment. Yes, we've got something in the database about them. Let me see. An order of Neo-Druids. Their head office is in London. The head of the group is called Lord Sinclair.
Do we know about anyone with a criminal record within the group?
Yeah, just give me a second, Brent. Somebody once filed a complaint against Lord Sinclair for disturbing the nightly peace.
Is that all?
No, hang on. Oh, some months ago, a gardener was killed on Sinclair's estate. And the murderer was never found. After the murder, Lord Sinclair and his order were under surveillance for some time, but there was nothing conspicuous to be found.
Ah, that's interesting. Anything else?
Well, Sinclair was fined once for hunting without a license. No, nothing else.
Janet prints that out for us. We make a copy for Melanie with the printer in the hall. Who would have thought that the printer was actually gonna have a purpose? Drop it off at the museum and then off we go to mess with a millionaire in his very own estate. What could possibly go wrong? We ring the bell like the idiots we are. Of course, Lord Sinclair isn't home. Sure. To the right, we can look more closely at the hedge, but there's nothing we can do for now. To the left, we meet the gardener. Much like the fisherman, we talk to him a lot. It's kinda weird that the gardener to a super private person like Lord Sinclair has such a loose tongue, but hey, not my job to keep. He tells us that Lord Sinclair is a really conscientious person, doesn't like bothering anyone. Right.
Well, somebody could feel disturbed by disorderly hedges, for example, or somebody could get hurt. There would be a complaint or a caution or something like that. And Lord Sinclair would have to deal with it. He doesn't like things like that. He wants everything done in a way that guarantees that he won't be bothered.
Well, okay, that sounds more believable. Lord Sinclair has bodyguards, of course he does. Oh, and he is at home at the moment, with some guests. Who would have thought? The guests are his close friends. They're always around. They're gonna have dinner together, and they've been doing that quite frequently as of late. On top of that, Lord Sinclair told the gardener that a successful dinner always includes a guest of honor. Oh, here's where the actual weird stuff begins.
Hasn't he got employees who arrange these things for him?
Oh, sure. But his lordship is very choosy regarding those dinners. He insists on cooking everything himself and even buys the ingredients. He's a really passionate cook. Lord Sinclair always cooks meals himself. He even locks the kitchen door.
A rich man cooking? Unless that's Gordon Ramsay, I'm not buying it. Here's some more weird stuff.
At least 10,000 square meters, I would say. There's a big forest behind the house. Lord Sinclair had it laid out himself.
Did he do that recently?
No, that was a long time ago. The trees in the forest look as if they were 100 years old, but of course that's not possible.
Why is that not possible?
Lord Sinclair told me that he had them planted. They must have grown very quickly.
How old is Lord Sinclair?
I don't know exactly, but from his outer appearance I'd say he's about 60 here in the neighbourhood. And somebody even sent the police to his house.
Really? And why?
Because of the screams.
Screams? What kind of screams?
His lordship and his friends sometimes go into the forest and do strange screaming exercises.
Pardon me?
Yes, it's just some strange quirk of theirs. You know what the aristocracy can be like.
Yeah, okay. In case there was any shadow of a doubt, it's gone now. We have our man. So now we need those shears. I'm really sorry, Mr. Gardner. You're nice and all, but... With the shears, we can cut a hole in the hedges, and then cut the fence, and break the shears. But we don't throw them away. Brent Halligan bought this coat with 10,000 pockets, and he's gonna use them, damn it. We use the scissors to finish the job, they also break, and we also don't throw them away. Like, it's an electric fence, so we need something to insulate it. Evidence bags? No. So I try everything, and then turns out that we need to take this covering from Mr. Blake's car to go through. And we're immediately caught by the bodyguards.
How do you do, Mr. Halligan? How nice of you to visit us.
You know my name?
Certainly. Lord Sinclair has been expecting you.
He has? Is that boss of yours some kind of psychic or what?
Why don't you ask him that yourself? Let's go.
Mr. Halligan, it is a great pleasure to meet you in person at long last.
The pleasure's mine. Would you mind telling your charming pet gorilla here to point his damn pistol somewhere else?
Please forgive us this precautionary measure, Mr. Halligan. I happen to be a distrustful man. Jack.
Lord Sinclair, now that we've met, there are a few questions I'd really like to ask you.
Certainly, certainly. After dinner I will answer any questions you deign to ask me. Until then, please be my guest. Jack, please be good enough to show our guest to his chamber.
You do not seem to be quite aware of the situation you are in, Lord Sinclair. I'm a detective from Scotland Yard. I don't want to have dinner with you. I'm here because of a series of murders in which you are a prime suspect.
With all due respect, Mr. Halligan, I took you for a wiser man than that. If anyone here is unaware of the situation they are in, you are. I have asked you to be my guest at dinner. Please don't disappoint me by refusing. Otherwise, I will have to ask Jack here to persuade you to stay in his own way.
I understand. I'm to stay here voluntarily, because if I don't, you'll force me. Is that it?
I'm glad we've settled that. Now, if you would please follow my friend Jack, he will show you to your room. We will discuss everything else in detail later, over dinner.
Let's go.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Is that the 60-year-old? More like 120. Well, okay, we're now stuck in this room with this very charming decor. What do we do? We can take this painting. Oh, we can look at the gap under the door. But the painting doesn't fit. So after pacing around the room trying to do things, I look at the walkthrough and find out that this is the classic paper under the door, push key out of the keyhole, profit puzzle, but with a bizarre twist. We're supposed to grab the nail the picture was hanging from, scrape off the thingy that's keeping the floor tiles together, and that magically makes them slide off. Because of course, floor tiles are only kept in place by the thingy in between them and not by something underneath. Of course. And then we take the frame from the picture and yeah, it is done. Is this parchment so thick that it can't go through that? Anyways, we hear those aforementioned screaming exercises, get out, and...
Hey, what the...
Well, Mr. Halligan, I don't believe I have introduced you to the gentlemen of my club yet. This is General Myers of the British Army. Next to him is Bishop Stevenson. The Earl of Sutcliffe, one of the Queen's closest advisors. And the gentleman sitting beside you is Mr. Smothers of the Worldwide Foods Corporation. I'm sure you're curious to learn what our club is all about. But I would suggest you have a bite to eat first. You look pale. You see, Mr. Halligan, you must know we have been following your investigations into these, shall we say, deaths in London for some time. I expect your experience in the park will have convinced you that we are, to a certain degree, responsible for these incidents. As you may have noticed, the meat we are eating at this meal has a rather unique flavor. It is human flesh, Mr. Halligan. This flesh is the source of life force. Grants us strength and power. You will soon discover the incomparable feeling of power for yourself. It will be grander than any feeling you have ever felt. Very soon now, when the day of the ritual's completion has come, our power will be perfect. Then it will be time for the curse that will put an end to the wretched hustle and bustle of this world and make room for something grand and new, a world ruled by Druids. I must admit your investigations had us worried for a moment, Mr. Halligan. We had even made plans to put a stop to them by arranging a little extra. But you are a very lucky man. You will witness the great day yourself, and you will be there on the right side. For by eating this flesh, you have become one of us. Welcome to the circle, Mr. Halligan.
To the rescue. Some policeman you are, Halligan. We can enter through the same hole Brent did, and here we have a stealth section. If we get caught, there's a long, unskippable section where Sinclair captures us and we're eaten by the circle. Every time we get caught. Unskippable. Yay! After about 4 attempts, we managed to lure these guys away from the window, and here we can enter Lord Sinclair's study. It's exactly what you'd expect. Altar with druidic symbols and blood, skulls, pentagram. There are these dancing men. When I was solving this, it made a lot of sense, but I can't remember the train of thought anymore. Then there's the safe, and the combination is shown in the painting that covers it. Absolutely brilliant idea. We got the amulet back, and also the scroll, which must be important. But
Mr. Halligan! God, what a relief! Oh, what was that for? Have you gone mad? What's wrong, Brent? Why are you hitting me?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, God, stop it! What's the matter with you? Don't you recognize me? Brent, stop it! Brent, you bloody idiot!
What happened?
blah blah blah. Update Melanie on the horrors endured. Let's get the hell out of here. We go straight to Mr. Blake, showing him the amulet and the scroll. He's gonna need some time to translate the runes. We update him on our adventures and...
I thought you said the amulet was important to the ritual.
Yes, that's what the inscription says.
Yeah, but then everything's all right now. After all, I've got it. Let's just melt it down, then this nightmare will be over.
Mr. Halligan, you're forgetting the ritual has already taken place. 1,000 years ago. It just didn't reach perfection. Only part of the power was transferred to the infants. The inheritors are now trying to complete their ritual.
But if this amulet means so much to Sinclair, surely it must be needed for the perfection.
I'm not so sure about that. Sinclair may be interested in it for some other reason.
What makes you think that?
The title written on the parchment you gave me.
What does the parchment's title say?
Unless I'm very much mistaken, the text refers to a place known as 12 Bridges.
What kind of place is that?
12 Bridges is an abandoned complex near Glastonbury. The bridges are in great danger of collapsing. Ancient Celtic myths refer to the place as the Gate of the Worlds.
Gate of the Worlds? What's that supposed to be?
Celtic shrines were always special places that allowed them to leave the normality of everyday reality. Celtic myths claim that 12 Bridges has been a consecrated site for millennia, a place where the body can step over into another time.
You mean 12 Bridges is the gate to a journey through time?
According to the legend, yes. Maybe Sinclair wants to prevent anyone from traveling back in time and disturbing the ritual.
Why would anyone do that? And why would Sinclair be so concerned about it?
It's easy. No ritual, no inheritors. No inheritors.
No Lord Sinclair. I see.
Of course, these are just speculations. As I said, Mr. Halligan, we need the book from the library. I should be able to tell you more when I've translated the parchment.
Okay, apparently we need to grab a book for Mr. Blake, even though he didn't really mention that beforehand. Yay, wonky dialogue! Melanie goes do her thing in the museum while we go to the library. The librarian doesn't want to help us, got it. This place has exactly one computer and this researcher is using it. And he's gonna keep using it for quite a while. So what now? Ooh, we can try to rob this car!
What's going on here? What are you doing to my car?
Me? I didn't do anything.
Well, the car alarm's not in the habit of going off by itself. Here, what's this? Someone's been fiddling with the door handle.
Well, it wasn't me.
Well, I don't see anybody else.
Do you really think I'd break into your car and then just stand around here waiting for you?
All right. I'd better get back to work now.
Okay, fantastic, but he just went back to his place. Yes, walkthrough time. So we can take a book from this stack here and somehow drop it in the professor's pocket. How? How does he not notice a heavy hardcover book in his pocket? Anyways, we can now go back outside and pull our car stunt again. But this time, he's trying to leave the library with a book he hasn't loaned out. So the alarm goes off, and since the librarian is a stickler for the rules, he's stuck in there writing a report about what happened. Car or no car. You know, a lot of the confusion as to the puzzle's logic could have been solved with Brent's internal dialogue. But yeah, the computer is free for us to use. We search the title we need, grab it, and since we're now completely paranoid about the circle, we use a different slipcover to conceal the Celtic book. Okay, got it. Let's go see what Mr. Blake can tell us about the scroll.
Here you are. Here's the book you asked for.
Ah, yes. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Halligan. Well, did you have any difficulties with Mrs. Owen at the issuing counter?
None I couldn't handle.
Good. I'll get to work at once. Oh, by the way, Mr. Halligan, Ms. Turner called about an hour ago. She's worried about you because you haven't been in touch for such a long time.
Did she say that?
Yes. She said she needs to speak to you urgently.
Do you mind if I use your phone?
No need. I asked her to come out here and join me. She should be arriving any minute now.
Mr. Halligan, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. I also went to Scotland Yard and spoke to your chief. He's a bit cross with you. Lord Sinclair's planning to bring charges against you for burglary.
What? I don't believe it. That old devil Sinclair seems to feel he's pretty safe, doesn't he?
It looks that way. It seems he has very influential friends in the police force. Whatever, your chief asked me to tell you that you're suspended. Effective immediately. Oh, and the next time you come to the office, he expects you to give him a comprehensive report in writing.
What? He can't be serious. Don't tell me he's handing the case back to that thick-headed, big-mouth Lowry.
I wouldn't know. All he said was that he expects you to hand the file to him as soon as you get back to the yard.
I certainly will not. This business is just too important to let go. I don't care what the chief says. I'm going to carry this case through on my own.
What's going on out there?
What is it? What's happening?
Leave me! Get out of the danger zone! Here, take the parchment and go!
Come along, Mr. Blake. Let's get out of here.
You get out of here. I'll follow you. of here! Quickly, run!
I believe you have something of mine, Mr. Halligan. I shall give you until sunset to give my property back to me.
Oh, God! Mr. Blake! I have to go back and get him out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go. It's pointless. You can't help him anymore. He's dead.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, my God, what an inferno. Let's get out of here, Melanie. Otherwise, we'll be next.
Where can we go? To Scotland Yard?
No, that's not a good idea. The Chief Inspector's waiting for me there. We'd only lose time. And Sinclair is getting more and more powerful with each new murder.
So what can we do?
You heard what Mr. Blake said. Sinclair has the power to complete the ritual. No matter what we do, for the time being, nobody can stop him.
Then we're lost.
No, Melanie. We have one chance left.
What do you mean?
We have to go to 12 bridges. We have to try to move the Gate of the Worlds. If we want to stop Sinclair, we have to stop those who gave him his power 1,000 years ago.
You believe in that Gate of the Worlds thing? It's just a myth, a fairy tale.
The question is not whether I believe in it, Melanie. The question is whether we have any other options.
You're right. Come on, then.
And here we are, 12 bridges. Again, in theory, it's the kind of place I'd love. I mean, ruins. How can you mess that up? They did. It looks so ugly. This path doesn't even look grandiose, like at all, and just ugly. And here there's a very interesting conversation.
What did you think of me when I first came to your museum?
What did I think? Brent, do I really have to tell you?
Of course you don't have to, but I'd like to know.
I'll tell you, but only if you promise not to be angry with me.
Oh God, is it that bad?
Well, do you promise?
Okay, I promise.
I thought this unshaven bloke's wearing a totally unfashionable coat.
Look who's talking! Wearing blue everything doesn't automatically mean that your outfit matches. Also, shoulder pads. In 2001, Girl, 1985 called, and they said the Twin Towers are just fine. And your hair looks like you tried to cut your bangs at home and failed in spectacular fashion. Halligan at least looks like a detective. What do you have to say for yourself, Miss Turner? Sorry, I love roasting people's outfits just as much as the next guy, but dressed like that? In public? Never. And now we take the danger sign down. What is one more misdeed in the life of Detective Brent Halligan? And now we reach one of the bridges, and up close it looks sort of okay. Like you can cross and pray it holds. I mean, you're already standing on this structure. What's one more Hail Mary? But no, that's not what we're supposed to do. Just watch.
Hey, good heavens, that was close.
Oh my God, are you okay?
Yes, I'm all right.
Brent, how much do you weigh?
What?
How much do you weigh? Your weight!
About 160 pounds. Why do you want to know?
I'm much lighter than you. The bridge won't collapse when I use it. I'm coming over now.
Melanie, don't! Stop at once! The bridge will collapse!
Wow, that was so much safer than just crossing and hoping. Good luck getting back! At this point, you're probably thinking, well, we're going to the past, we're gonna stop the ritual for good, the end, right? Like, as in, we are somewhat close to the end, right? No, we're not. There's roughly a third of the game left. Timing, people! If you create a situation in your game that feels like the end, and then the end doesn't come, it's frustrating even if the game is good, which is not the case here. Anyways, we opened this door with the power of the heaviest amulet in human history, I guess, and go into this construction that the 12 bridges lead to. In here we can mess with the mechanism to make this hourglass appear, and
We haven't moved even a single inch from where we started out, have we?
Look, the bridge is a hole again.
If you ask me, the bridges are still whole. We've landed in a time when this whole place was still completely intact. We've travelled back in time.
You really think so?
Uh-oh, here comes company.
They look like soldiers.
Don't panic. Let's find out what they want.
Couldn't you have made Melanie stand in the same spot she was standing during the cutscene? At least. It actually would have been better to have a close-up of her face waking up, fade to black, and then fade into gameplay, you know, so it doesn't look terrible, like what we just saw. Leaving this kitchen, we enter a dining room, where two men are sitting doing nothing. We try talking to them, but they think we're Danish spies. Halligan's okay for now, and we're now the maid, and this guy demands something to drink. That is very, very unwise, but fine. In the kitchen, we find this medieval recipe book, and it has just what we need to make a strong sleeping jinx. They didn't even get the voice actress to take a stab at this old English. So we make the potion with the herbs and scale available, but like, how exactly do we get them to drink it? It's not wine. We have to flirt with this guy. I would find that way too risky, but as Mr. Blake puts it, Melanie is brave. Go for it, Mel.
A love potion by my own recipe.
Oh, well,
doesn't sound too bad. Perhaps you're not so much of a cow as I thought you were.
Perhaps. To be honest, I've always had a soft spot for men who know what they want.
Hey, I like that.
There. That ought to get you going.
It looks good anyway. What is it?
As I said, a love potion.
Bah! It doesn't taste all that good.
But it'll work. Just wait and see.
I should hope so, 'cause I'm getting tired. Very tired.
Sweet dreams, my friends.
Things couldn't have gone better. We take some keys from Tweedledum and go through this door, which leads down to the dungeon where they're keeping Brent. We free him and together move this crate, which reveals a secret passage to the outside. Or at least we hope it's a secret passage to the outside.
There's not a glimmer of light here anywhere, Brent.
Oh!
What was that? Are you still there? Brent? Brent, this isn't funny. Hello? Is that you, Brent?
Damn it. Now where am I?
Okay, so good news and bad news. Good news is we're in the monastery that was taken over by the last of the Druids, and most of them want to help us stop Thurston, the head Druid who has turned over to the dark side, from completing the ritual of the Inheritors. This is Maglar, by the way, his brother. He has arranged for us to move freely through the monastery and will help us with whatever he can, but we shouldn't be seen together, otherwise Thurston might catch on to the ploy. Oh, Melanie is also fine and has been granted the same privileges, and with them she has chosen to hunker down in the library. I would have done the exact same thing. So now on to the bad news. The ritual is supposed to happen in a few days' time, and during it, we're both gonna be executed. No one is allowed to leave this place without Thurston's permission and guidance, since the monastery was built like a fortress and there are no gates, only underground passages. The Druids' places of worship have also been monopolized by Thurston, and everyone else is cut off from them. But anyways, our first task is to find the room where the evil master keeps his crystal ball. That's all. We take the sheet from the bed and set off to explore. I also tried taking the sheet from this other bed, but Halligan doesn't wanna. I guess we're not gonna escape by tying them all into a rope then. When we turn a corner, we suddenly find ourselves in this ominous room, a double door being held shut by 2 padlocks and a wooden beam. We just gotta figure out how to get in there. Going down the other corridor, we find Thurston's office. He is less than welcoming.
You? What do you want?
I take it you're Thurston, am I right?
And you are the man who came all the way here just to let me kill him? What do you want? Is the little bit of life I've granted you too much for you?
He knows about the ploy, of course he does. And of course, like the good evil McEvil that he is, he thinks that everyone is so beneath him that we have absolutely no chance to thwart his plans. Now get out! Ooh, candles, gimme. We then find the kitchen, and we can open the window to the dining room. Let me give you another spoiler. Even though this seems like an important puzzle mechanic, it isn't. It just never comes up again. Anyways, we take these vegetables and this tiny bucket, and that's it. Next up, we find Melanie in the library, where Brent's like, "Melanie, we're gonna die. Why are you reading?" And she's like, "I'm trying to find something that might help us." I mean, I'm with her on this one. You guys still have a few days, and it might be that the Find Crystal Ball profit plan might not be the only one available to us. But Brent is stupid, so he thinks books are stupid, so that's that. Ooh, double doors, and they lead to the outside. I mean, the courtyards with the gardens, stables, and blacksmith, but still, fresh air. These are probably the worst rocks I've ever seen in video game history. Every single time I see them, I think they're just huge dandelions. We go into the blacksmith's workshop first, and like many before him, we talk. A lot. He tells us that he gets worked to the bone here and is treated really poorly. At this point, he's basically a slave, only being allowed to leave on Sundays to visit his family. It's amazing how religious orders mistreating their servants always tracks, no matter the time or place. My mom has a friend who ended up with fucking hernias because she was the librarian for some cheapo priests who refused to hire people to help her. Anyways, he also tells us that he needs to finish his work pieces by tomorrow or else he's gonna be badly punished, but the furnace isn't lighting, so he's just standing there, doing fuck all about it. But fine, we'll see if we can find anything to help him. To the other side of the courtyard, there's the garden, and Halligan says that he hates vegetables, like a toddler. Why did you pick that thing up in the kitchen then? There's also this locked place, this other locked place, and a water valve. Great. What now? We can't keep bothering Thurston until he lets us stay in the office to watch him. And he's like, yes, a vermin like you must long to witness the existence of one such as I. You may stay. But I can't really find what exactly we're supposed to observe here. We'll be back later. In the garden, there's this drain that we can block with the vegetables from the kitchen. And by opening the water valve, the garden floods and the worms flee from beneath the earth and we can grab them. Okay, logic. We then have to find the exact pixel from the exact angle that allows us to climb up on the roof and see that there's a nest on the chimney. Now we can use the fresh, wriggly worms to attract the bird away, and just like that, we fix the furnace. We let the blacksmith know, and he says that he's indebted to us. We'll remember that. By the way, from this point on, I had the walkthrough open on my phone all the way to the end. When I lose respect for a game because it shows itself to be way too nonsensical, I don't even try to solve anything by myself anymore. Case in point, what we have to do next. We need to use the small bucket we got with the fire in this room here, and then melt the candles into a circle. This can only mean one thing, key imprint. But you guys know that wax hardens after you take it out of the fire, right? No matter, video game logic, it's gonna work regardless. In Thurston's office, we can use this piece of wood that I don't remember where I got with this opening on the wall. Because, yeah. We then ask Maglor to have a few minutes alone in the office. Attract the evil lord away with some pretext that makes him leave without locking it. He does just that, and oh, I see why we did that. Thurston replaced the block on the wall, but since we put something else in there, it sticks out, so we can meddle. Behind the block, there's a small chest with some scrolls and a key. It would be too risky to take them, but we can make an impression of the key. Put everything back where we found it and back to the blacksmith. He thinks it's too dangerous to help us with this key, and we're like, did you forget? If not for us, you'd be getting punished tomorrow. So his rebellious side comes out a little bit and he starts working on it. To pass the time, we talk to Melanie, who's still reading. She's found something interesting about how the Druids view the world. It's made of 3 elements: water, air, and earth. Fire doesn't make up the world per se, but it transforms one element into another. Okay, fantastic. Give us that key now. It opens the padlocks in the Eerie room. Yeah, both of them. I'm not complaining that I don't have to go after another key, but it's kinda nonsensical to have two completely identical padlocks guarding your super secret room. But anyways, not my crystal ball to protect. We then navigate this maze that I cannot even begin to understand what the logic behind it is. It supposedly has something to do with these rooms, but like, I don't remember seeing them anywhere. But fine, thanks to the walkthrough, we get out and reach this eye room. Closing the door behind us, the eye opens, leading us to the crystal ball. To the left, there's a destroyed mechanism, but to the right, it's intact. This thing is like a calendar, and if we input the date and time of the ritual, I don't know how that helps us, but fine, let's go talk to Maglor.
Maglor!
There you are. I have been looking for you everywhere.
Maglor! I figured it out. The apparatus with the movable beads in the room where the crystal ball is hidden really is a calendar. I entered the time of the ritual, and Serstan appeared in the crystal ball.
What was he doing?
He was holding a staff decorated with runes, which suddenly began to glow. Then he picked up a golden sickle.
A staff? He used a bewitched staff to summon the power? If we find that staff, Serstan will not be able to perform his ritual.
Where could he be keeping it? I've searched the whole monastery and found nothing.
The temples! We must go to the temples.
Where are they? Bring them to me!
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Out there! I think I heard Serstan's voice. He's looking for us.
Damn it, that's all we need. Lock the door, and then let's get the hell out of here.
Don't tell me we weren't going to the temple anyways. So now we have to use the sheet on the candle and use the sheet with the left window. Sheet with the left window? Hi? Maybe the other window? No. So we have to click exactly on the temples in the distance. Otherwise we're just stuck here. Let's go.
Right, let's get out of here.
But how?
Here, with this parachute.
What's going on in there?
Well, come on, damn it.
We will fall to our death.
But we've got no alternative but to jump. Now hold on. Do you hear that? What is it? Maglor! Phew, that was close.
Oh no, Maglor. Again, I'm flabbergasted. It takes a special level of incompetence to make forests look like nothing. Even the ones I paint as background for my animation look better. Well, we find Maglor, and he's not doing too good, and tells us to go get mistletoe because it can cure severe wounds. And here we finally use the gloves. Yeah, the gloves we got at the very start of the game. They're used here and nowhere else. And the best part? Mistletoe is poisonous, yes, but only if you ingest it. So this is completely pointless. Yippee! It's even more pointless because Maglor dies while we're getting the plants, so now we're stuck with yet another useless thing in our pockets. From his corpse we get this spinny top. let's go explore the temples now. To the left, we actually use the spinny thing to activate this portal, and it's... So we basically do that about 50 times, picking stuff up. That's it. That is this entire section. I have to say, I like the vibe of this specific chamber. It's not much, and it's not out of this world, but this game is in dire need of some positives. By the end of our loot, we got 2 pieces of flint, water, air, and earth. On to the other temple. This puzzle is actually kinda cool. Only took us 7-ish hours to get one of those. Each one of these braziers has the symbol of a different element. We have to put each thing into its respective brazier, then use a torch to light a magic fire under them. Once again, it's not much, but I like how the Druidic lore ties in with this puzzle, with fire under each of them representing transformation. With this, we can grab this key and open this door. Then, while climbing down the stairs, we have to grab these things to insert in these rocks. Honestly, not even the person who wrote the walkthroughs seemed to know exactly what they were doing at this point. And then, after all that...
What are you doing?
Melanie!
Brent! He's going to kill me!
Let her go. She hasn't got anything to do with this. I came here on my own.
You have something that belongs to me. Give it to me, now!
Brent, do what he says! He's serious!
You heard what she said. She's absolutely right.
Brent, please!
No. When he has the staff, he'll kill us both. Listen, Sir Stan. I'll give you the staff on one condition. You must swear that nothing will happen to either Melanie or me afterwards.
What? That is your condition?
Swear on your honor.
It doesn't mean anything to me whether you sad creatures live or die. If you really want to hear it, I swear it.
On your honor.
On my honor.
Okay. Now let Melanie go.
Give me the staff.
I'll put it down here as soon as you let her go. Come here, Melanie.
Now our fates will be sealed. The ritual may begin. But first, I will take care of you two. You miserable fools.
Hey!
Brent?
Yes?
Hey, we're still alive.
It would appear so. Where are we?
The bridges are ruined. We must be back in our own time.
My God, the ritual! We must get to Stonehenge immediately! Sinclair is going to complete the ritual! Come on, Melanie, we've got to try to stop him!
No. Hold on. So we did all that. Traveled back in time. Everything. For nothing? Like, there was an astronomical chance that Thurston was gonna harm you guys either way. So why not just break the staff over your leg and get this over with? Let's see the end of this thing.
Sinclair!
Mr. Halligan, have you come to witness our finest hour? Very well, my friend. You are most welcome to come and watch.
Damn it!
The time has come. Let us begin.
Now we apparently have to stab Melanie with the broken shears because...
Brent!
Zerstan! The vow is broken!
Melanie.
Have they gone now?
Yes. Yes, they've gone. Everything will be okay. Just lie still.
Brent, am I going to die?
Nonsense. You're going to be just fine. Just lie completely still. I'll go and get help.
Don't leave me, Brent. It's cold here. I'm so cold.
Melanie! Melanie.
Brent, what did you do?
I just practiced a bit of magic, that's all.
Brent, I...
Shh.
And that was the mystery of the Druids. What on God's green earth did just happen? My best guess is that if a Druid breaks an oath, he dies. At the moment in time he swore the oath, and then everything he did afterwards gets erased. Maybe. But how did Halligan reach that conclusion? If that's even the case. Maybe there's a hidden dialogue option that explains this that I somehow missed, but seems like something you know, make a requirement to learn before reaching the ending? There's really nothing to suggest that oaths are especially important to druids and actually carry magical powers. By the way, something else I noticed only as I started editing this video is that why did the ritual fail 1,000 years ago? Like, what went wrong there? Why did the inheritors wait 1,000 years to complete it? It could be something about like the millennium, the power, whatever. It's not explained. None of that is explained at all. On a more general note, yes, everything is ugly. Stop the old game excuses. You can create atmosphere with anything. Everyone is annoying. House of Tales got giving people distinct personalities and making everyone insufferable mixed up. And we're stuck with the worst offender for the vast majority of the mystery of the Druids. Exceptions being Mr. Blake, who's the quintessential wise old man, and Melanie, who's the quintessential 2000s protagonist, woman version. You think this field of study isn't for girls, in a menacing voice? Smart and capable, but more often than not has to be saved by the main guy. Polite, assertive, but not too assertive. For some reason is interested in the dumbass main guy. Anyways, you know her, you've seen her in action thousands of times before. I guess it's not the most boring or the most infuriating game I've ever played, so congrats! There is something about this game that drove me up the wall though, which I've neglected to mention up until now. Maybe you've noticed it while watching the cutscenes, and it is the sound design. It is bad. Not a single track fits the vibe of the game, or at least the vibe I assume the game is going for.
We will fall to our death. We've got no alternative but to...
I think the worst offender is the track that plays in Mr. Blake's office. Not only is it not synced to what they're discussing, it's way too intense for talking to the old man in his study, and it switches vibes completely so quickly.
Are you saying these murders are based on the same ritual?
That's what I've come to ask you.
But that's impossible. It can't be true. It's... my God. It would be unthinkable. It would confirm all my translations. I've been researching the history of the Druids for 30 years now. I've never...
But having bizarre songs isn't the only audio-related problem. No, because House of Tales, more often than not, neglects to add ambient tracks and noises. I think the worst case of silence are the castle ruins. I mean, listen.
Later that same evening.
Are you telling me that the wind is not rustling the leaves? That there are no small animals breaking twigs every now and again? A wisp of mysterious chant would also be very welcome. But no, instead we got... crickets. When visuals aren't your strong suit, and story isn't your strong suit, and then the audio isn't your strong suit, what the hell's left? And yeah, puzzles with impossible logic, kinda whatever story, game-breaking bugs you gotta patch yourself, items not disappearing from your inventory. This game's got it all. And yet, this is not the worst game I've ever played. I think that this honor goes to the first Dracula game. Even though it looks better, the boredom its name invokes in my heart is unmatched. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, blah 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 blah. And I'll make more videos if an evil doesn't fall on my head. Bye!